So Piaget came in, look at our stores, and we called up Vacheron Constantin, and then I called up Breguet. They're not sure about us. But once I told them we received all the Vacheron Constantin watches, they say, "You sure watch it in the store?" I say, "Yes, definitely watch it."
You say you can come here right now.
Then they say, "Okay, Alan, we're coming tomorrow. See you."
Wow. First, I just want to say Happy Father's Day to everyone watching this. I've been wanting to do this interview for a while now, and if you don't know, this is my father, Alan Mon. Alan, or my dad, he's been an authorized dealer for many different watch brands for over 40 years since 1983. He's the founder of Carat Co. And without him, I would not be here, obviously, but also our business would not be here. I would not be in watches, and there would be no channel. There would be no Minute Mon. So first, I want to say thank you to Dad and Happy Father's Day to you for all your hard work and for making all this possible. Thank you for also agreeing to finally do this interview.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be interviewed by my son, Derek Mon.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, first we're going to do a cheers.
Cheers.
So my dad and I, we love drinking wine. Outside of work, my dad and I love drinking wine, so we thought it would be appropriate to open a bottle of wine and talk about life. So, Dad, when did you start Carat Co? And can you tell us the history of our company?
I started flea market business in 1982. That was outdoor flea market. They only open Saturday and Sunday. And I used to live in Connecticut. Saturday morning, I drive 3 to 4 hours, go to Englishtown, New Jersey, set up my $6 rent table, and off the Main Street, my rent is very good rent.
So you pay $6 and you get to rent a table in the flea market?
Yeah, that's my one-day rent, $6.
Is the flea market still there today?
I believe so. That was a huge outdoor flea market. One day, my friend took me to visit the flea market, and I love it. And that's how I started the flea market business.
What were you doing during that time, like outside of flea market? Were you in school?
Well, when I started flea market business, I was selling giftware. And after a few months' time, then I see opportunity. Someone reached to me saying, they have the digital watches. They can help me, lend me watches. If I sell, end of the day, then I pay him. So that was a great opportunity, and I took that opportunity. So I started selling digital watch back 1982 in flea market. I know nothing about watches that time. All I know is digital watches and name like Jordache, and they imported from overseas. So we buy $2-3. Those days we can sell $5. That's how I learned how to run business from flea market.
So you were buying these really inexpensive watches, like $2, and then you were reselling them for $5. So that's like a 50% margin, like you got double.
Inexpensive watches, you're looking for high value, the percentage return. $2, you sell $5. But how I learned my business? The area I have is not on the Main Street. It's off the Main Street. So not many traffic. And if I can sell, like $20 a day, I'll be happy. And then I learned is after 4 o'clock, some vendor in the Main Street, like Fifth Avenue, Broadway, they go home early. So I pack my stuff, I moved to the front. Once I moved to the front, I see the action is more people asking, buying watches. So I sell $5 in the beginning, afternoon, I sell $4.50, $4, because if I don't sell it, I'm not gonna come back on Monday because we only open on Saturday and Sunday. Some people ask him to say, hey, I'll buy 2 watches. What can you do? I say, if you buy 2, $6. And at the end of the day, I even sell 2 for $5. You know why? Because I won't come back. So I have to wait another week. Why not selling? Reduce inventory.
That was a great story. So you had your rented table in somewhere you had an area, and then later when some other people left, then you were able to move forward to the front.
Yes.
So you have to be hungry to make the business.
Yes, I'm waiting for that moment, that opportunity. Once I see people move out, they go home, then I jump in the spot right away, their table. And the summertime flea market always open late, like 7 o'clock. By 4 o'clock, I can move to the main street. That's great opportunity to run business.
And how many watches were you stocking back then? Like these inexpensive watches?
In the beginning, if I earn $20, $30 a day, I'll be happy because I have money to pay McDonald's food and to have money to buy gas to drive back to Connecticut. That's 4 hours drive. Then I have enough money to purchase the gasoline to go back.
So during those times too, and then we'll talk about a little bit later, were you struggling, or how was were you sleeping in your car? Did you rent a hotel? Where were you sleeping when you were waiting in between days at the flea market?
Actually, I sleep in the car at nighttime when I drove to New Jersey from Connecticut because I don't have a place to stay. If it's winter time, I will stay in the Stephen Technology School in Hoboken because they have library, they open 24 hours. I will stay there nighttime. But many times I sleep in the car. I remember one time I slept in the car and police knocked my window say, hey, you cannot sleep here with your car running. By then I understand you cannot run in your car with your engine on
while you're sleeping in the car. Yeah, that's a big danger nowadays.
Oh, luckily that was winter time.
So let's move a little bit forward. So how did you transition from a flea market? What happened next?
There's opportunities. One summer, someone handed me a flyer saying they're opening an indoor flea market, opening 4 to 5 days a week instead of the outdoor. I was curious, so I went to visit. That was in the New Jersey called the Riverview Flea Market in Kearney, New Jersey. So I asked the landlord how much the rent. Corner is $600 a month. Next to the corner is $500 a month.
That's a big difference.
Right. I never spent $500-$600 in my life for the rent, but I keep thinking. I say, why don't you give it a try? You got nothing to lose. If it don't work out, you can always pull back.
Go back to the other flea market.
Go back to the outdoor flea market. And I made a choice. I got in the flea market. I paid $600 plus security deposit, and I started selling digital watch. Through the Christmas, I sold many digital watches. And I made my first $8,000 in my life in Christmas season.
Wow.
So for $8,000, I never had such many monies in my life. Then after holiday, I asked the other flea market vendor. I asked him, I said, how come after holiday, everything slowed down, business slowed down?
You mean after Christmas?
Yeah, after Christmas. I said, no business. So a guy, he's a vendor, he sells clothing.
Okay.
Yeah. So he told me, he said, Alan, look, you see that booth? People selling gold jewelry, 24 karat, 18 karat, 14 karat gold jewelry. He said, they have all year long business. You got an anniversary, birthday,
wedding,
anniversary,
engagement, all this stuff.
Holiday, Christmas, New Year. That's all year long business. I said, wow. I go home, I keep thinking. I say, I have $8,000. That's my first pocket gold. I said, what do I do that? I say, why don't I try sell gold jewelry? If I lose, I start all over. Okay, so that's how I did it. I put all my $8,000 into gold jewelry. I bought a gold chain, gold charm, and I started selling gold jewelry besides digital watches.
What was the business called at this time? It wasn't called Carat Co.
Well, when I started business, I named myself Alan Jewelry.
Alan's Jewelry.
Since I get into jewelry business, I do very well. People like me. People like to buy gold jewelry from me. I am a very organized person. I like to set up everything very nice and neat. Even though I carry charm, I categorize them. Number one mother, number one dad, number one daughter, all this charm, I put it together.
Okay.
I put an animal together. So when customer come in looking for charms, and it's very easy to find and locate because I organize them. Even gold chain too. I set up very neat, 16 inches, 18 inches, 24, 30 inches. And people like to deal with me In the flea market, people always come in to talk to you and bargain. That's how I learned my business. I know how to bargain that time. You need to learn how to bargain with customer to make a customer turn into your loyal customer. Unfortunately, flea market in New Jersey, they don't last long. I believe it's 6 months. After that, they closed. That was an indoor flea market. I relocated on Long Island called the BZB Mall in Massapequa, Long Island.
Wow.
That was back to 1983, something like that. We opened 4 days a week. I had a booth on the second floor, not many traffic, but I always go to office, ask and request them, if you have first floor opening, please let me know. Fortunately, after 6 months time, there is some jeweler in the back of the first floor. They're leaving. I had opportunity to move from second floor to first floor. So once I moved to the first floor and business start very busy because like I said, people just like me. They like to deal with me.
You give good pricing. You're,
I give
you're
you
easy
good
to
price,
work with.
not just good price. They like the way I do business. So my booth in the flea market always busy and people have to wait online to wait for me to get a service.
Was there any other businesses in the flea market that were also successful or made it out today?
There's a person named Jacob. Now he's a big shot, Jacob & Co. Back then, 1983, we both in the flea market, New Jersey. So that's how we know each other. We run the same type of business. We become friends. I remember they all come to my wedding when I get married.
So during these times in the flea market, you're so busy. Are you doing everything by yourself or do you have someone to help you?
Well, when I started business, I run by myself, Allen Jewelry. And then since I moved from New Jersey to Long Island, BZB Mall, one day I rent apartment, Union Turnpike. Then I saw a young girl walking from stairs, walking down. And I said, wow. She's beautiful. Then I told the landlord, I said, okay, I want to move in. I want to rent this place. That's how I met my wife, Lisa Mang. So we become friends. She even come to help me on the weekend in the BZB Mall. Later on, by 1985, we got married.
Oh, that's only a few years later. Yeah, 2 years later.
2 years later.
Wow.
No, actually 1 year later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I met her 1984. We got married in 1985.
So now mom and dad are working together in the jewelry.
The name is still called Allen Jewelry. By 1988, I'm tired of flea market, so I decided to move out to open our own jewelry store. We opened one by the Old Country Road
in Long Island.
Long Island, conjunction with Glen Cove Road. That was my first store, 2,400 square feet.
Wow.
That was big stores, and we named Carat and Carat. So the 2 Carat. 1 Carat is Allen with K. The other Carat with a C is Lisa. So people always joke with us, say it's Carat and Carat. That's Allen and Lisa. I say, yes, correct.
Actually, that's great you say that because a lot of people, they ask me today, oh, where does the name Carat & Co come from? And then I explained to them the story.
By 2011, when my 2 daughters, Melissa Mom and Tiffany Mom, once they graduated from college, they joined our family business right away. And I decided to change the name from Carat & Carat to Carat & Co. Means Carat & Company.
Yeah.
And later on, my son Derek Mang, he graduated from college and he joined the business too.
2016, I joined. Officially, I joined 2016. In the summertime in college, I used to come do internship at our store, like 2013. And when I was growing up, I was always in the store. But let's go back.
But all my kids, they grew up in the store. We used to have multiple stores on Long Island, and they grew up in the store. They always come to the store, running around, play in the store. Actually, they grew up, from the jewelry store.
I have a very distinct memory. This is the store we used to have in Huntington, the one that was like the round shape. And I remember one day I was really small. Mom put me in the showcase, the circular one, and I'm crawling through there. You guys used to put these glasses of water inside. And because I was a kid, I didn't know. I got so thirsty, so I drank the water from the glass. So why did you put water in the glass in the showcase?
The water is moisture for the pearl. We're selling culture pearls. culture pearl have life, so we need to moisturize them.
Luckily, I'm okay. I didn't get sick and I'm okay today. But let's go back. You and mom opened your own store, Carat & Carat. How is business going now?
Well, we opened in 1988. Since we opened, we do very well. I remember by Christmas season, people coming to the store, they have to take a number, stay online, we call them up one by one to be served. Business is very good and the time. Because the business is good, and I opened many stores on Long Island, Bayshore, Holbrook, Smith Haven, Smithtown, Huntington, Route 110. But that was 1993. I have a vision is, I am Chinese. I know Chinese love name brand. They're very loyal to name brand. I said, why not open a jewelry store in Flushing? Because I always go to Flushing to eat. I see so many Chinese in Flushing. Back then, it was a new Chinatown compared to Chinatown, Manhattan. I said, why not open a jewelry store in Flushing? So that was my vision. I opened a very small 500 square feet jewelry store within Sheraton Hotel in downtown Flushing, in the hotel, in the lobby.
I remember that store too. I remember exactly what it looked like. It had all glass doors on the front. When you go into the hotel, you have to go all the way to the back, and it's there on the second level.
When I opened the store in Sheraton Hotel, 1993, so I called up Omega. So they come in, they look at us, talk to us. They decided to open us official Omega dealer in the Sheraton Hotel. That was 1993.
So you called like Omega Company in the United States?
Yes.
Omega Watch Company, United States.
Right. At that time, Swatch Group just acquired the Omega brand. After 1 year, 2 years, they acquired the Longines also. Chinese love Omega Longines.
Yeah, these brands are always very strong. I remember growing up, everyone always talk about Omega. And actually, the watch I'm wearing today is the Omega Seamaster Professional 40th anniversary of James Bond. And I'm wearing this watch today because this is the first watch I have ever owned in my life.
I believe I gave you that watch was your graduation, or no, your graduation, I gave you IWC.
For college, you gave me IWC Portugueser, but when I was still in high school, you gave me this watch, but I wasn't allowed to wear it unless we go to an Omega event, because back then I was in high school. Sometimes we do like James Bond movie premiere with Omega through our store.
Right.
Then I can wear this Omega watch, or maybe I go to a brand dinner with you, like with Omega, then I can wear my Omega watch. But other than that, I never wore it. When I was in college, I didn't wear it either. I was too scared because I thought it was too precious. I didn't wear it until maybe like 2015, 2016.
But the one you have is a limited edition.
Yeah, the one I have is 40th anniversary of James Bond. So on the dial, they wrote the 007. I changed the bracelet, so that's why it doesn't look original. But yeah, that's why I'm wearing this watch. Omega is the first watch I've ever had, and it's the first brand that we've ever had in our store. So I wanted to wear this watch especially for this occasion to interview you. So while we're talking about our own watches, what are you wearing today on your wrist?
I'm wearing Blancpain Flying Tourbillon.
When I see this watch, I always think about you. It's the rose gold Flying Tourbillon. You have power reserve, you have big date, you have everything you need on a watch. It fits who you are, I would say. It's like big, it's gold, it's got a lot of functions. It's high watchmaking from one of our top brands in our store, Blancpain. So Omega opened Carat & Carat around the 1993 or so. So how did business go with Omega now during that time?
Business is very good since we have Omega. We have a very tiny store in the hotel. I have to do a lot of advertising through the Chinese newspaper, World Journal, to get people in to know us. I keep telling my wife, I said, we are inside of Sheraton Hotel. Very hard to let people know us more. I say, why don't we move to the downtown Flushing Main Street? So by year 2000, we moved to Main Street. I rented a very small space, share the store with the bridal store. Once we moved to the Main Street, people see the exposure. People walking by, they can see us from the time we open. Business we're doing very good.
So that store is about 1 block away from where our latest store is today.
Yes. So I was on 39th Avenue. Then we started carrying a little bit more brand besides Omega Longines. We also added Tag Heuer, Movado. So that's how I expand to open my own jewelry store, 2-3 store down. That was 2003.
All you had that time is Omega, Longines, Movado, Tag Heuer,
And Gucci. And Tissot.
Tissot, okay.
Montblanc. Yes.
And this is 2003.
2003.
Okay.
So one day, and I called up Piaget. So Piaget came in, look at our stores. Within 1 year, we got a president worldwide, vice president worldwide, president from US. 3 different time visit to our store. Some say, yeah, yes. Some say, no, they don't believe us. Finally, after 1 year, they decided to open me. And we give them very nice space, 10 feet. Space. We are doing excellent business with Piaget at that time. And we called up Vacheron Constantin and we went to Geneva, meet them. After that, we placed order. Then they say they will think about it. But fortunately, I believe it's 2006, they shipped the watch to us. Once we have Vacheron, and then I called up Breguet. Breguet saying they're not sure about us. But once I told them we received all the Vacheron Constantin watches.
Yeah, you got the actual inventory directly from
Once
Vacheron.
I say we received inventory, they say, you sure watch in the store? I say, yes, definitely watch it in the store.
You say, you can come here right now.
Then they say, okay, Alan, we coming tomorrow. See you.
Wow.
Right away, second day, because Breguet is saying their big competition is Vacheron Constantin. So that's how they so eager to open us.
So like all of the brands, you start with Omega and then it just like domino effect. Like another brand, another brand, another brand. And once you get Piaget is a big turning moment.
Yes.
Because once Piaget comes in, their luxury, their watches, their jewelry, everyone knows them.
Once we have Vacheron, Breguet, then Blancpain come in, Jaeger come in, Jaeger-LeCoultre come in, IWC come in, Frank Muller, they all come in. And we're doing great business.
Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break and I wanna ask you a fun question. Can you say the following brands in Chinese? So I will say the English name and then you give me the Chinese name of the brands that we have. Omega.
欧美家
Blancpain.
宝珀
Breguet.
宝鸡
Piaget.
伯爵
Vacheron Constantin.
江诗丹顿
Jaeger-LeCoultre. JLC.
机甲表
Tissot.
天梭
Longines.
浪琴
IWC.
万国表
Cartier.
卡地亚
Chopard.
肖邦
Montblanc.
万宝龙
Anything else I'm missing?
Grand Seiko.
Okay, how do you say Grand Seiko? But that time you didn't have Grand Seiko. That's much
that
later.
Time that's a new thing for us.
That's like more when I joined. We get Grand
Seiko. When Derek joined the business, we opened the Grand Seiko.
So how do you say Grand Seiko?
Actually, I say 大金工. Actually, I look at it online. They don't say 大金工. They saying 冠南狮.
冠南狮.
Lion, like a lion.
Oh, yeah, because their mascot is the Tokyo Lion. So when you say 大金工, that just means big Seiko.
Yeah, grand means huge, 大.
I just want to share a funny joke. I remember you told me this a long time ago. You used to have a jeweler in our store named Paul, and he was asking you, why is there a song named after Seiko?
By holiday, Christmas season, we always have a Christmas song. It's called Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell. It sounds like a Seiko, 金钟表. Chinese saying 金钟表, but sounds like a Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, 金钟表. So he always very curious, ask me. I say, wow, Seiko watches every holiday always have a music and radio music. I say, Paul, that's not 金钟表 Seiko. That was a Jingle Bell.
Jingle Bell. That's one of my favorite jokes because every time in Christmas time I hear that song now, I think of that story. I think of Jingle Bell, and he probably is actually, he believes they're actually talking about the song.
Many years he believes. So once I told him that's not.
maybe you should not have told him.
Yes, I should have let him keep thinking about Jingle Bell.
So let's go back. So now you're starting to collect many different watch brands into the store. You have Piaget, Vacheron, Breguet, Blancpain. What year is this now?
From 2006. 6 until now.
Was there any other brands you added that we didn't mention? I think Cartier is one. we should
Cartier, once we opened a new store on Main Street, Cartier came in and opened us. That was 2015 until now.
Now we're getting to the present day, right? 2006 till now, we have a portfolio of watch brands in our store. My sisters, myself, we all joined a business. So now Carat & Carat becomes Carat & Co. We have a new store. So currently we're in our latest store, which is still in downtown Flushing. Have you ever thought about opening stores outside of Flushing after we came here? And what happened to all the other stores we used to have?
Since I opened a Flushing store, my one store business is 3-4 times over the whole Long Island 3-4 stores business. So, and I told myself, I said, there's no reason keep a Long Island store. Why don't I just settle down one store, beautiful, big store. Each brand can represent themselves, make their own statement, build their own shop-in-shop, mini boutique.
So now that we're getting to the present day, I have some questions that people ask me, and I want to have an opportunity to ask you some of these questions. How much of your career is passion for watches and jewelry, and how much is just business that you want to provide for your family and do well?
You know, I grew up very poor family. To me, is to have money and support a family. Sure, I'm very passionate for my business, but I know all the jewelry store is generation by generation. You can see some jewelry store, they run by 7 or 8 generation already, even though I'm first generation. So once you build up reputation and trust between customer and also between the brand, you want to keep the business and pass on to next generation. I understand in America, we are from overseas. It's very hard to become an authorized dealer. So I want to keep the legacy to next generation and so on.
That's a good answer. From your perspective, how has the business and the industry changed for the last 40 years?
The watch industry totally changed. For example, Audemars Piguet, AP, they used to buy the dealership. They decided to open their own boutique. They closed out the dealers.
That was 2018.
That was 2000. So you see the industry changing because the watch brand doing very well. So they decided to open their own boutique.
What are some keys to success as a watch authorized dealer?
Do your job. You have to have enthusiasm, your watch brand, and sell them.
You need to be passionate for your watch brand, sell the watch brand, take care of the brand.
Take care of the brand. Introduce the brand to customers. That's your job.
Okay, that's a good answer. So someone asked, what's one of your proudest moments in life as a watch and jewelry dealer?
I'm very happy for my 3 children continuing the business as an authorized dealer, keep a good relationship with our customers.
Someone asked, how did you deal with business in 2008? I'm sure business slowed down. So 2008 was the housing market crash.
Well, we are in the Chinese market, 50% of local Chinese, 50% of outside Flushing business. So our Chinese doesn't get hurt the time 2008, the housing crisis, because the China market is developing and very fast. So I have a customer come in to our store and they see my store is packed with customers. So he's asking me, he say, Alan, the housing crisis, how come you are so busy? Your store is full of customers. I say, well, we didn't get hurt because our customer base, 50% of local Chinese, they don't have the issue with the housing market crash issue. So that's why we still running a good business.
Because our store is one of the few authorized dealers in Flushing in a Chinatown kind of location. So you have the local Chinese, and then you also have the mainland Chinese or the international who are coming to the United States to go shopping. So you've always had this kind of customer base that's different than a lot of other stores in America. When I ask people on my Instagram to ask me questions, a lot of them are really excited to ask you questions because it's not very common that you can ask the first generation of a business owner how they started business and where is it going. And so I guess I just want to close up this interview. What's one thing you want to say at the end of all of this? What are you happy about? What do you want to see happen in the future with the business? And whatever you want to say.
I'm very happy with what we have through all the many years hard working, build my own family. My family will keep the business, maintain the good business and good relationship with our customers, clients. So that's how we proud about.
That's our episode for Father's Day. I just want to say thank you again to my dad for being willing to come down, to be on camera, to tell us the history of our company, Carat Co, what it's like being an authorized retailer in this landscape, and what he wishes for the future. Again, happy Father's Day. We'll do a final cheers.
Happy Father's Day. We're both fathers. So
now, there's a third generation.
Third generation.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay,
there.
Thank you. I need it. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Bye.